Did Pope Francis drop the title Vicar of Christ and reject it? In fact, a lot of people make this claim. It's been circulating for years now. We actually heard it once again resurface in a message by Father James Altman, a clip of which I'll play here in just a moment. So it is one of those claims that continues to recirculate, especially in the event that somebody wants to say something critical of Pope Francis. This one will usually be brought out and placed front and center as one of the reasons to dissent from Pope Francis, to not take him seriously, or even to say that he isn't the Pope. So that's what I want to consider today. By the way, before we move on, I just want to remind you, hit that subscribe button. Help me grow this channel. If you appreciate Reason and Theology and you think I'm doing good content here and you want it to reach more people, new people, hit that subscribe button and the like button while you're at it. Okay, I want to play a clip where this claim is made by Father James Altman recently, just a few days ago, in a homily where the homily is titled Throw Bergoglio into the Deep Blue Sea. Father Altman on the Great Millstone. And so this is one of the videos. In fact, I reviewed it not long ago where he talks about how Bergoglio should be thrown into the deep blue sea. Yes, you heard that correctly. And in this video, around the 16-minute, 19-second mark, he brings up this claim about Pope Francis denying the title Vicar of Christ. Let's watch it together, just as a reminder, or at least an introduction for people who have not seen this before. Here we go.
Jorge Bergoglio is not the Vicar of Christ on earth. He himself said so when he himself threw out the title into the dustbin of history.
Okay, so there you go. He says Pope Francis isn't the Pope. He isn't the Vicar of Christ because he said so. Pope Francis said he's not the Vicar of Christ. He threw out the title. He rejects it, and therefore he isn't the Pope by his own admission. That's how the argument goes, at least by Altman. Again, this is something that we've seen for years now, and unfortunately, it continues to resurface over and over, even though it has been refuted quite a few times already. Let me show you what actually happened here, and then what Pope Francis actually believes. In fact, this is a malicious lie that people are spreading. Here is the facts. You'll notice the people who say these things don't actually present the facts to you. They don't show you the documentation. Here's the actual documentation of what is being discussed here. You can see it right there on your screen. On the left side is the annual Pontifical yearbook. On the right side is another edition of the Pontifical yearbook. This is just a yearbook for the Vatican that explains, who Pope Francis is, who this cardinal is, who this person is. It's just a yearbook in the Vatican. That's it. It's not even anything really official. But if you look over here at the left version, you can see Vicar of Jesus Christ mentioned at the top when describing Pope Francis. It's mentioned at the top. And in the newer edition, when describing Pope Francis, it's just moved here to the bottom. That's it. It's just moved. And people will extrapolate from this that somehow he is denying that he is the Vicar of Christ. This is where this fabrication comes from. He moved it from the top of the page to the bottom of the page under historical titles. That's it. That's it. He doesn't reject it. It's just simply moved on the page. And again, this minor change is what people will drive a whole truck through and say, oh, yes, he's denying that he's the Vicar of Christ. You can't even call him Vicar of Christ. He himself rejects that title. No, he doesn't. This is a malicious lie. It is slanderous, and it is bearing false witness. And I'll also point out this fact. Pope Francis not only did not reject the title Vicar of Christ, but a very good article here by Dave Armstrong shows that Pope Francis has used the title Vicar of Christ to describe himself over 3 times. So again, not only does Pope Francis not reject the title, he actually speaks of himself as the Vicar of Christ. So you see how far this malicious lie has gone. People don't actually look into the facts and see what happened. And then they don't account for what Pope Francis himself actually says. So here's one quote from Pope Francis. I received with great joy the kind letter you sent me on your own behalf and on behalf of the Society of Jesus on the occasion of my election to the See of St. Peter. In it, you informed me of your prayers for me and for my apostolic ministry, as well as your total willingness to continue serving the church and the Vicar of Christ unconditionally in accordance with the precept of St. Ignatius of Loyola. In another quote, he says, the Pope is a bishop, the Bishop of Rome. And because he is the Bishop of Rome, he is the successor of Peter, Vicar of Christ. There are other titles, but for the first title is Bishop of Rome, and everything follows from that, and so on. And then in another quote, he says, the institutions to which you belong, formed in the consortium of Pope Pius XI in 1928, are entrusted to the Society of Jesus and share the same desire to serve as a soldier of God beneath the banner of the cross and to serve the Lord alone and the church, his spouse under the Roman pontiff, the Vicar of Christ on earth. These are just 3 quotes from Pope Francis where he affirms the title. Let's also add to the fact that the Instrumentum Laboris, the working document of the Synod on Synodality, that document posted right here, 2023 Vatican website. Guess what it says? Right here, it describes the Pope as the Vicar of Christ, rightly pointing to a accurate quote there from the Second Vatican Council, an important quote from the Second Vatican Council, where he's described this way. And once again, it's represented right here as of late as the Instrumentum Laboris in 2023. And so does Pope Francis actually reject the title Vicar of Christ? Does he deny that he is the vicar, as Altman told us? No, he doesn't. And it's yet Altman, Vigano, and many others who continue to promote this malicious lie instead of just pulling up the actual annual Pontifical yearbook, showing it to people and saying, here's what happened, here's what's going on, and then accounting for what Pope Francis has actually said. Unfortunately, some people are not in the business of truth and serving the God of truth. They're rather in the business of maliciously slandering people that they don't lie. And this lie, because of that reason, has been perpetuated in a very pervasive way, to where even non-Christians, when they consider Catholicism, they mock us, they make fun of us, and they say even your own Pope doesn't believe that he's the vicar. And so the enemies of Christ Jesus use this stuff to slander the Catholic Church. And unfortunately, it was perpetuated and started by people in the Catholic Church, to their shame. So please help spread this video with people that you know are deceived and have bought into a false understanding. Please share this with them. Anytime you hear them say, well, Pope Francis denies he's the Vicar of Christ, I hear it nearly every single day. I'll make a comment about the Catholic Church, a Protestant or even a non-Christian will retort, oh, your own Pope doesn't even believe in the papacy. Your own Pope denies that he's the vicar. And the enemies of the church will slander the Catholic Church with that. I have that thrown in my face every single day, and it's a lie perpetuated by Catholics, and I constantly have to correct it. So if I'm encountering that often, I know you are too. So whenever you encounter a person who perpetuates this lie and bears false witness and engages in public slander, it might be helpful to perhaps send them a link to this video so that they can see it and they can reconsider their position and also consider perhaps going to confession, since they have been bearing false witness. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Put that in the comments. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button so I can reach more people with the truth, because I'm telling you, the enemies of the church, and unfortunately, the serpent within the church, under the guise of piety, under the guise of pious souls, is spreading this malicious slander. And there are so many of them spreading the lie and so few bearing witness to the truth. Help me bring that truth to people by growing this channel. Also, if you want to support this channel financially, patreon.com/reason and theology is one place you could do it. You also get access to extra content. So certainly check it out there. Or if you would rather use GoFundMe or PayPal, if you prefer those platforms instead, I'll put a link to those in the show notes. I would greatly appreciate your support. All right, we'll see you later. God bless. Hey, everybody, just wanted to tell you about my new free ebook, Church Chaos, Biblical Insights for Confused Catholics. If you are a confused Catholic and you're thinking about leaving the Catholic Church, or you're thinking about converting to the church, but you see that there's a crisis in the church and you're just unsure, this is the book for you. Again, it is free. Just simply go to reasonandtheology.com. You'll see a pop-up that comes up on your screen. Just simply click on it and you'll put in your email and it will provide you the free PDF ebook right then and there. Please check it out if you're confused about the situation in the Catholic Church today. reasonandtheology.com. Are you confused about how Catholic teaching authority works? With encyclicals, papal bulls, councils, and many other things, it's easy to get confused on what is authoritative and what is not. Fortunately, at maximusinstitute.com, I have prepared a course explaining the Magisterium from A to Z. Visit the website and check out the course Understanding the Magisterium for more information.